22. Mamelodi Sundowns, DStv Premiership champions, 5 times in a row now.
Your World of Champions Super Sport brings you another evening of DStv Premiership midweek match action. And this evening we're out at the Emirates Airline Park where Babina Noko play host to champions-elect Mamelodi Sundowns. And then later on, a doubleheader right here on your World of Champions Super Sport sees Kaizer Chiefs. Can they break the duck and finally get a win? They play host to Nedbank Cup finalists Marumo Gallants. Good evening and welcome to another exciting midweek action when it comes to the league. This evening I am not alone. I am joined by two astute gentlemen themselves, rightfully so. It is Siyankos who's joining us in studio as well as Jimmy Tao. Now, gentlemen, it's only just been a week and we've crowned Mamelodi Sundowns champions. They've just made it to the cup final and today they return to league action against Babina. What is inspiring them this evening, as astute as they are?
Look, Chacha, we're looking at a team that wants to set and break its own record. And they will then look at the reference to last season as to how they fared and think, for the remaining games, how many points are there for the taking? So having said that, I think they would want to take this game very serious. They'd want to treat it with the importance that it has to them in terms of them achieving that milestone that I touched on. So expect a very well-organized team that is destined to get maximum points against Sekhukhune this evening.
And Sia, that's exactly what coaches Bangoba Mngithe and Ekurhuleni Mokoena have been saying in the media running up to this match, that even though they're already champions, they want to get those maximum points. And they're still in the running for those maximum points this season, 70-71. But for Sekhukhune United, they welcome a team that's already champions and they're trying to battle to get into the top 8. That makes it quite tough for them this evening as well.
I think, Tato, for Sundowns, it's more about testing your own professionalism because these type of games can actually, assess your position regarding that. And because that's the mentality you want to instill into your squad to carry you through even beyond this season because there's still another season to play. So that mentality being ingrained in your team, in your players, then it helps you so that you don't find yourself having to deal with problems of complacency later on. And I think also the target, the 70-point mark target, is also within reach for them if they win the next 4 games. Because Sekhukhune, obviously, they're not happy with how they've fared. They've gone on a long run of about 10 games without a win, and then now they've made a few changes in the technical team. So they want to test that as well because they're trying to build for next season.
A big talking point, something I wanted to mention, because as we saw the teams arriving at the Emirates Airline Park, you saw a gentleman we know all too well, ODG Owen Dagama. He's just joined the technical team when it comes to Sekhukhune United. Very similar to the trio that they do have at Mamelodi Sundowns. I mean, you look at the gentleman at the helm. They've got McDonald Makubedi. They've got Thabo Sonong, who is tactically and technically a coach that could be really compared to Ekurhuleni Mokoena. And now they've brought in Owen Dagama towards the end of the season. Is it going to work for them?
Look, I think you're mentioning a very important point there, Tato, on just the timing. Because it's towards the end of the season. I don't see, if ever it was a situation where they're in the relegation zone and they say they're panicking and whatever, they tend... They not that they're comfortable. But I don't think it's really much of what the coach can bring at this point in time, unless they are planning for the coming season, But at this point in time, it's really difficult to establish as to what is that is going to augment should he come into that structure, and his influence obviously as an experienced coach. But the timing for me, it's something that really needs to be applied.
And Jimmy, lest we even forget, I mean, now we're seeing Mamelodi Sundowns champions with 4 games to go. They've already wrapped up the season. But this was Sekhukune's debut season in the top flight. And yes, they're finished off, well, they are in 10th place trying to do better. You compare them to their other counterparts like Royal AM, and how would you give them a report card for their seasons here?
I think they've done very well because the priority has been to try and avoid relegation and then stabilize going into the next season. But they're wobbling already, and hence the panic buttons with the changes in the technical team. But my worry is that you're bringing in someone who's bringing a sort of a contrasting approach into that coaching technical team setup, because you have a Senong who has a more modernized capacity in terms of coaching, and then you have a McDonald who's more street smart because he's been involved in a lot of development all around the country. And now you're bringing Owen, who is more of a little bit of an old school type of a coach, and his approach, we've seen his approach when he was in charge of TS Galaxy and other teams as well. So now how are they going to work? Whose ideas are going to prevail.
Well, we've seen the trios somehow butt heads throughout history, but let's see how this trio specifically at Babina Nogo do with these last remaining games. And when you look at their starting lineup this evening, they've done with the likes of Yusuf Marta, Seth Perusmith, really well-known names. But when you're looking at breaking the duck of those 10 games without a win, who's going to be a match winner?
Look, I also look at how they are faring in terms of the table standings. They currently on 0 goal difference. They've conceded 19, they've scored 19. So you can see it's a team that's lacking in a lot of goals also, as much as they're trying to score. A player like Ohizu, for me, is a player that I think they would look forward to in terms of just his presence in front of goal. A Jima at the back to give them the stability and just that aggression that they would need against a quality team like Sundowns.
Well, a team that's not lacking the goals, 23 different players netting this season is Mamelodi Sundowns, and that's how their lineup is looking this evening. Changes in the goalkeeping department. I think they even have a different team for every game.
Yes, they do. But now they've had a bit of problems in that central defensive position, and now it's good to have Musa Lebusa back. I think that's a big addition for them because they've had to deputize with the Lunga. in the Nedbank Cup. So I think that's a big inclusion for them. Having also a chance to rest some of the players like Andy Lejali not being in the team, Onyango as well, and Riyad Peters always slots in and does very well.
They've been talking about those injuries to that back line for Mamelodi Sundowns, but it seems like they've also made a plan for it today. Like I said, a team to cover for every single competition.
Yeah, I think when they checked the last team that they had against Royal, they realized that defensively they were found wanting in terms of having enough cover on the bench. Because when Onyango got injured, it really threw them off a little bit. But Lunga came in, he stabilized the defense. And you can see that they've got enough options. Hence, they went for Lebusa in this case, just to bring him back into the team and have a reliable centre back who can come in should there be any need to.
Well, it sounds exciting as we go through to Emirates Airline Park, where Numalo is, and of course that is where the game between Babina Nogo and Mamelodi Sundowns is going down. Lindiwe, any team news for us there at Emirates Airline Park this evening?
It's the battle of the three coaches on either bench for Sekhukhune United, McDonald Makubedu, alongside Thabo Senong, as well as the newly appointed coach, Owen Gama, brings a vast of experience here in the DStv Premiership, alongside Coach Mangoba Mngqitsi, Rulani Mukwena, as well as Steve Kompela of Mamelodi Sundowns. The second best defensive side in the league, tackling Sekhukhune United up against the champions of the DStv Premiership, the highest scorers in the league. And Mamelodi Sundowns, Stanton Stiga Fredericks is alongside me. Stiga, welcome to the Emirates Stadium. You look at a team like Cape Town City, they were able to hold Mamelodi Sundowns to a goal. Do you see that happening potentially today for Sekhukhune United?
You know, very much so, Lindiwe, because as you mentioned, they've just conceded 19. But I think the problem for Sekhukhune is they only scored 19 as well.
Yeah.
So we do know that they're very stealth with their defense. But I think that Sundowns now, it's a very difficult situation. I haven't been in this situation myself where you've won the league, but you still have so much to play for. I think the most important thing for the players here this afternoon, or this evening rather, is to play for places in that final. So they've made the 6 changes, which we'll delve into a little bit later. But I think it's a personal battle now for Sundowns to continue to be professional and close this season with with the most points that they possibly can.
And also another thing to look at is that last season they finished with 67 points. They want to improve that record and possibly reach 70 points this season, Stinger.
70 will be good, but remember 2015, 2016,
Yeah.
they managed to make 71 points. But I think for Sundowns, unfortunately bowing out of the continental competition, it's about now planning for next season. We do know that it's a side that continues to compete on every level. So they'll obviously have players coming in. So once again, the pressure goes to the players now. Your job is done. You've won the championship. How much can you do to stay in the start, not just the starting 11? So it's a massive challenge mentally today for this Mamelodi Sundowns side.
3 tech sessions on either bench for Sekhukhune United as well as Mamelodi Sundowns, the 3 masterminds.
Yeah, no, looking at Sekhukhune, they certainly done the job. They've got the magic number, which is 30 points to secure them their status in the league. The challenge is now, can you get to the top 8? Your first season is not the easiest, but the second one is the real test. So it's now for Sekhukhune to see where they're lacking, but I'm sure that they'll be looking to end in the top 8, and that will be a massive, massive boost for them going into next season.
Right, Sekhukhune United winless in their last 5 league matches, and for Masandawana, the champions, 3 wins in their last 5 in the league. Let's hear from the respective coaches on how they plan to get a possible victory here at the Emirates Stadium in the DStv Premiership. Coach, a possible 12 points still remaining for the rest of this season, which could still see you finish in the top 8.
Yeah. Look, it's a very tricky one. You know, everybody's fighting for something, either relegation or top 8, or as high as possible in the league. So it's really a tricky one, considering where the team is coming from. A bit of a dip there. So just to get the team back to how it was in the first round.
Please talk us through the replacements for Nkomobi as well as Baji.
Look, Baji picked up an injury against Golden Arrows. So, we're trying to get him. We don't want players to be playing with half injuries, that type of thing. Players must be fully fit. So he's out. And then we just try to stabilize the midfield a little bit. The coaches came up with a very good plan, and we just tried to reinforce it, because as we know, Sundowns, the best team in the country, they just dominate that midfield wherever they play against. And so we must try and nullify that or negate that, and just try and play to the strengths of the team.
Thank you so much, Coach. All the best tonight.
Thank you very much.
Coach, having already won the league, I know that at Sundowns you always demand more.
We still want to win this match. Even if it was a friendly match, we would still be looking to win it. Are we live?
Yeah.
I mean, really. No. The truth of the matter is it's very important for us to win every match that we play. And also these matches, not just to fight to improve our benchmark of last season, but also now they serve as a preparation for the final as well. So it becomes very important that whoever gets an opportunity gives his best, so that it gives us a headache when it comes to making the team for the final of the Nedbank Cup. But the truth of the matter is we still have very big ambitions to improve the number of points that we get, considering that last year we got 67 and we are still on 58. So it's very important to try and win as many games as possible.
What do you make of Sekhukhune United? They've been very solid and disciplined at the back.
Yeah, no, this is a very complex team, to be honest, because defensively they are very powerful. They have done very well. Even the first game that we played against them at Tuks, though we managed to score 2 goals, but breaking them down is never really easy, because they're a team that sets a very low block. But we understand that, and at this stage, I think they also pushing to get their place in the top 8. So I don't think they will rely only on sitting back. I think to a certain extent they will try to push to win the match, so that they also get a better position on the log. But at the same time, we also have a responsibility as Sundowns to make sure that our supporters appreciate the work that our boys are doing, and we respect the game, humble enough to understand that in as much as we have won the championship, but we still have to respect this game and give it all the respect it requires. But I can guarantee you it's not going to be an easy match.
Thank you so much, Coach. All the best tonight.
Thank you very much.
Well, Mamelodi Sundowns are hoping to complete a double over Sekhukhune United. The last time they met, it ended in a 2-0 victory in November for Masanda Wana. 2 changes made by Coach Owen Dagama. In comes Katleho Mulaba as well as Bukhiso Mahlangu in that right back position. There's no Nico Mobisliga, there's no Bachi as well. What have you made of those changes?
Well, I think it's a like for like. I think Bukhiso Mahlangu on the right-hand side will do a sterling defensive job. But for me, I think the leader today will be Edwin Jima. I think he started 24 games for his side, and that shows consistency, and it speaks to the number of goals they've conceded. So a very solid-looking Sekhukhune United this evening.
Well, the Nedbank Cup finalists have also made a few changes. There's no Andile Jali. Which players stand out for you, Stiga?
No, as you mentioned, no Charlie. How is that midfield going to set up? Will it be Mabue alongside Mtolise? With the likes of Mahema just in front of him, Mozwani. But I think it is going to be a different looking midfield there. No Kutsia, no Jali. So will that be a little bit differently? We heard what Owen Dagama said, that the strength of this Sundown side is in the middle of the park, and it is adjusted here. So can Sekhukhune take advantage of that?
Well, Mamelodi Sundowns have 11 players who are out due to injuries. But we've got a full team here at the Emirates Stadium in our commentary. TT alongside Stanton Fredericks in English, NgesiZulu, the legendary Ubabu ZZ Masondo, Sotu, the one and only Mapale Moloi, bringing you match day 27 of the DStv Premiership. Back to you and the team in studio, Tato.
Thank you so much, Lindiwe and Stiga there from Emirates Airline Park. Now, they spoke about the impact of Edwin Jima at Sekhukhune United defensively, but I think another player we spoke about was Yusuf Martin, how he can obviously help them up front.
Yes, I think his aggression in the midfield is very important because you find him everywhere. He's one of those players that have a very big engine in that midfield. We usually call them box to box because he also contributes when you're in attack. He's not just a player who sits in one position and focus on defensive duties. So an all-round performer that can really drive the team forward, especially in this particular encounter where they're going to need it most.
Well, needing it most, they spoke about the omissions in midfield, but more than anything, I mean, Mamelodi Sundowns already champions. We're talking about that 17-year-old record that the likes of Peter Shalulile still has time to break in these remaining 4 matches.
I think the sniper becomes key for them. You know, he's got a solid eye for goal, and he's a team player more than anything else, which is what I like about him. So, hence, I think certain things are working in his favor because his quality does not only show on him finishing the chances that Sundowns are creating, but also him just being able to create chances for his teammates.
Quick predictions. Sia, how are you seeing this game pan out as we look, of course, through those team sheets lastly?
I think 3-0 to Sundowns.
3-0 to Mamelodi Sundowns. Well, speaking about Sundowns, we're going to bring up their team sheet as well. What's your score prediction?
Sia's gone with 3. I will go with 2 for Sundowns.
2 for Sundowns. And hopefully that will go with the Livuani Mabenge's tweets. And he basically says, I just wish Shalulile can score 1 or 2 goals tonight. I want him to break that record as soon as possible. Of course, you can chat to us. We're very much live and interactive. It is quite simple. Hashtag SSDski right here on Twitter. And of course, we take you right there to the game between Babina Noko and Mamelodi Sundowns.
In life, we're all faced with those undoubtable no-brainer moments. Those unmissable opportunities that just make sense.
Hey, Baba, what's up? Hey, Lena, you need a lift? What's up?
Those simple choices that just make life lekker. Get a risk-free first bet at Sporting Bet. If you lose, you get to have another go. If you win, you win. Sporting Bet. It's a no-brainer.
Bob, you're a single, right? I can place you with that group.
Nice Skechers.
Get comfortable with Skechers Go.
Bye, Bob. Same time.
Take your comfort game to the next level.
I love you.
You look like a beer man.
Nah, not me.
I'll have a Hunters.
Whoa. What are you doing? Stick to the script. All right, guys, let's get rid of that guy. Oh, that's going to have to go. Perfect. Okay. Oh, bring him in.
You can't change the script like that.
I just did.
Refreshes like nothing on earth. Not for persons under the age of 18.
This Saturday on Supersport, man and machine are pushed to the limit with 6 grueling hours around Spa. The World Athletics Continental Tour sprints into the Kenyan capital, and European rugby heavyweights scrum down in a hotly anticipated Champions Cup matchup. Up your game on Supersport. Get all the sporting action. Upgrade to DStv Premium.
This is rugby.
From Ajiba Daimani. And still they come. Lachlan Rice, he's got the fourth try. Brilliant play again by the Stormers.
A different league. The Vodacom United Rugby Championship. Live and in HD on Supersport. Only on DStv Premium. Proudly brought to you by Vodacom, SA's biggest rugby supporter.
Do it for the culture. Do it because you can, or because you can't, or don't do it. But Sabanza boy, work hard. Yes, to flex or to relax. Jive a man, dance like you're on the guest list. Drink it on the rocks. No ice, just dala, or don't drink. Turn those expectations off. Stay true to who you are, because when you do, there's no wrong way. Valentine's, stay true. Not for persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
The Premier Soccer League is proud to present football entertainment at its best. The DStv Premiership. Electrifying, energetic, thrilling, sensational. The DStv Premiership. Mabize Oge.
Sekhukhune United roll out the red carpet for the newly crowned champions of the DStv Premiership. For the 5th time in a row, Mamelodi Sundowns are the kings of the DStv Premiership. We bid you a good evening from a beautiful evening here at Emirates Park in Ellis Park, here in Doornfontein in Johannesburg. It is the home of Sekhukhune United. They are the hosts for this evening's game as they come up against the might of the top-time Premiership champions of South Africa, Mamelodi Sundowns. And the boys of Sekhukhune United, the men of and boys of Sekhukhune United, will make their way out first onto the park to form a guard of honor. As Yusuf Martin, the skipper, lines up his troops to do the right thing. By no means obligatory, by no means in any rule book, but it is one of those things that have crept into the game, which we absolutely welcome. It's the ultimate show of sportsmanship and of saluting those that have been superior. Stand up for the champions. Mamelodi Sundowns warmly accept the applause. They have been supreme, they have been superior. Have Mamelodi Sundowns, the champions with 4 matches to spare. No one can deny them that they deserve this honor that is so befittingly bestowed upon them by the host this evening. So Sekhukhune United, well, what a difficult set of circumstances it has been for them. A difficult 2022 it has been for them so far, that has yielded just the 1 victory. My word, boy, are they happy to have made the start that they did. And perhaps this should be a sign or a lesson to other teams that will be promoted. Stanton Fredericks is alongside me this evening. I will bring him in just now. Let me first talk you through the changes to the side. If you have a look at Edwin Chima, will be a pillar of strength in that defensive setup that has been solid all season long. They will look to that man or Hizu to get onto the score sheet. goals have been hard to come by for this Sekhukhune United side, which is why they've found the going so tough in the 2022 half of the 2021-22 DStv Premiership season. Some changes on the bench as well. So Sian Ledwaba and Tabankovela amongst those included on the bench. How do they line up Stanton Fredericks given those two changes that they've made?
They're keeping it simple with a 4-4-2 here. Sekhukhune, but one change of Patricia Mashlango comes in at right back to solidify that defense as ODG looks on, and he'll really add to this dimension of Sekhukhune.
Well, many hands will make light work is the theme on the coaching benches of these two sides this evening with, of course, two men on the side of Sekhukhune. But let's have a look at what Sundowns have done. They've run the changes. I have counted all in all 6 changes to their starting lineup, which includes a change in goal. Rayad Peters comes in for Dennis Onyango, which means that Kennedy Mwene continues to deputize there. And in the starting lineup, there's a return for Temba Zwane and Gaston Silinho amongst the attackers, but nothing will change in terms of approach.
And nothing at all for Sundowns. It's a 4-2-3-1 that looks like it. The pivotal move will be in the middle of the park there in Kolise and Mabue.
There is the coaching duo, +1 of Mamelodi Sundowns. Sidiso Mkwanazi is our match official, assisted by Smugele Jali and Tumi Mohlala. And referees, a 4th official is Jimmy Khapola this evening. There are the small band of supporters here for the home side. Kabuyelo have come out as well, trickling of this early kickoff time, a difficult one in midweek for fans to make their way out in time, but always good to see them back in the stadium. We have missed them. We pause for a moment of silence. We continue to urge you to take care as the pandemic is still very much with us. The numbers are on the rise again, and let's talk of a 5th wave. So please continue to take care. Billy the Kid, that is Neo Mahema there, who will be in the engine room for Mamelodi Sundowns this evening. He retains his place then from the side that drew against Cape Town City to secure the title for the 5th year on the bounce. Unprecedented stuff. It's all about setting records now for this Sundown side. It's Yusuf Marta, the captain of Sekhukhune, will look to rally the troops. It's a difficult assignment, Stanton Fredericks. They are coming up against a well-oiled machine, as we see Musala Busa back in the starting lineup to captain their side. What do they do? How do they approach this game?
Well, there's a touch of deja vu, I might add, TT. Last time Sundowns lifted the trophy, it was you and I in this box, came up against Swallows. So it looks like they're making a habit of this. And yeah, it won't be easy for Sekhukhune there. They'll be fighting for a top 8 position. But it's a Sundown side with individuals that will be fighting for a starting berth in that Nedbank Cup final as well.
Indeed, they remain on track for a domestic clean sweep. Not just a treble, it will be a clean sweep. Not done since the 80s. And it will be the champions to get us underway. Peter Shalulile standing over the ball as he continues the hunt for that record of Collins Mbesuma. It's the Brazilians, the champions of South Africa. 12 times champions, 5 times on the bounce. That they have been the kings of the Premiership. They attacking the goals to the right of your picture, the home side, in the old Burgundy strip. They are coming up against, it doesn't get harder in terms of assignments than a rampant Mamelodi Sundowns side. Title in the bag, it's just been there. It's been awaiting the coronation. So this evening marks the start of the victory parade. But as you say, Stanton Fredericks, they will certainly continue to keep things professional. They have targets that they're still chasing, including the whole of points at the top of the table. They will still want to get maximum points, Stiga, no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. They got that 67 points last season. I'm sure they'll be looking to better that. Their all-time record not attainable. In 2015-2016, they managed to get 71 points. But a professional performance is expected from Sundowns, and I'm sure the trio of coaches will expect none less.
4 wins out of 4 in their remaining 4 will take Sundowns to 70 points, just one shy of that record mark that Stephen Fredericks just alluded to. But it's been a season where they've set all other types of records have Sundowns to talk to throughout the game. So the only blemish really in the season, if you can call it a blemish, is that I think they will consider themselves, they will be bitterly disappointed with they bowed out of the Champions League again at the quarterfinal stage, having really robbed their way to top of the table in the group stages. But as they say often in competitive sports, and as in life, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
When it matters most, can you come to the party? Certainly, I think beat themselves against Atletico Luanda. Italy dominated proceedings home and away. Should have seen themselves in the semi-finals, but life goes on. Other fish to fry.
It's the confirmation once again of how difficult it is to win that CAF Champions League. Let's have a look at this attack then. It comes off a defender for the corner as Neo Moema looked to whip one in. The versatile, it's another Molaba that came off there. Now Moema there. For Sekhukhune United, I think they've been exemplary for teams that are newly promoted about how to go about your business. Get your points in, get your wins in as early as possible, because it just gets harder as the season wears on. And they've done the business in the first half, in the first round of matches. As the ball comes in away by Yusuf Mark. And looking to turn on the afterburner here. So Ohizu needs a support. In fact, it's a Matonsela with the Matonsela. Think Jimmy Daddy a bit too long. Oh my word, Yusuf Mark, too much time. Yes, he should have been putting that on the. He had a lot of time. Could have taken another touch. I thought they stand to Fredericks. Disappointment. But that is a sign of how this Sekhukhune side can hurt you.
And that's a sign of ODG. Electric on the counter attack. What a burst of pace shown here from Matonsela. I think he weighed his options there. Looked like he was a little too far to take a strike. With the pass there, Marv just getting his body underneath that and not managing to test the keeper. But brilliant stuff there from Matonsela.
Tell you what, on any other day, except when the DStv Premiership is played here, that effort from Mark would have had the crowd on their feet, because it would have been straight through the parlor for 2 points or possibly 3 points. Mutiba, beautiful tackle then to steal the ball from him there. Time to perfection there by Nobe.
Yeah, that is exactly how Sekhukhune will look to unlock that defense on the counter attack. Great pace showed here on the left-hand side from Matonsela.
Boriso Matlangu, a versatile Boriso Matlangu, can play as an attacker and very often this season has been used in defense or as a wing back. He's got the pace, and I forgot. I mean, the man was top scorers there. He was the top scorer for Cali's before being signed by Sekhukhune. On the Gama, late call up to the technical team of Sekhukhune as they look to just to stop the rot a little bit, as Sekhukhune were heading in the wrong direction. Truth be told, it's been a difficult 2022. You needed the wise head maybe of a Dagama to come in and help out. And listen, what Sundowns have taught the rest of the league again is that many heads or 2 heads are better than one, as we've seen them with Mangoba and Ekurhuleni Mokoena working ever so well, and with the even experience for Steve Compella alongside them. So Sekhukhune also employing the same thing.
Definitely seems to be the trend there, as Kabwe shakes off that little bit of a niggle.
It was something that we first saw really, the joint coaches. I mean, Sundowns have done it in the past. Remember another championship winning duo, Miguel Gamondi and Neil Tovey. So it's not something that is unheard of. We have even in the Premier League years gone by, you had Liverpool, Roy Evans, Gerard Ouye, who shared the responsibilities for a period for Ouye to go on his own, the late Gerard Ouye. Nice stuff there from Yusuf Mart. He's a classic footballer, isn't he, Yusuf Mart? Bafana International as well.
He certainly had to take a difficult route once the captain of the then MDC, the Pirates, make his way through the first team. Down. Bit of a journeyman, but shows the character of the man, and he captains the side. So certainly a leader.
Gaston Sereno, he found some form late on in the season. Started off, I mean, he found it difficult in the first half of the campaign, but ever since the turn of the year, we've seen a rejuvenated and refocused Gaston Sereno, and we've seen his flashes of his brilliance in the latter part of the season. He's out there with Themba Zwane there. The Maboe in a more retreated position and playing a deeper role here. They turn from Zwane there.
What a brilliant turn there from Zwane. Kabwe needs to be so cautious. You come up too early, especially when you're coming up against Mshishi. The intelligence of how he used his body, his awareness.
Approach with caution. I think that's the big sign on the Themba Zwane's back. Approach with caution. For things can happen. They just embarrass you. They have a set piece opportunity here. Omni Mudiba lining it up. He is definitely well capable of hitting these. They will move on the bench this evening. He floats one to the back post. Good header away. Now, for all the troubles in front of goal, Sekhukhune have been solid at the back. Only Sundowns has a better defensive record than Sekhukhune. That is a credit to them. And as I said, the newly promoted side to the DStv Premiership to boast such a record. It's up front, really, where I mean, even their wins, most of their wins this season have come by way of a 1-0 scoreline. So they've done it the hard way. Just a little bit of pressure there from Moizu. Good work from Kabwe. The Zambian international looking for a foul, nothing given. Now, Gaston Sereno calling for it there to his left-hand side was Mahema. Floated in, but clapped out the air with some ease by Toaster Sabata. What a season he has had as well. Right up there amongst the chaser for in terms of the most clean sheets. Kabwe is right up there in the likes of Onyango. Rather Sabata, I should say, is just one off. Dennis Onyango's 11, he's on 10. Onyango on 11, while Ugo Marks of Cape Town City leads the way with 12 clean sheets. So Onyango won't be drawing level with him this evening because he sits this one out. It's the big man there, Peterson. The big man in every sense of the word. He's Colossus, standing at 1.98 meters tall. Looks down upon the world. There's space and time now for Sundowns to build. It seems as if the tone has been set. Sundowns will have most of the ball, and Sekhukhune will just be happy to get the men behind the ball.
Yeah, they'll dominate the possession there, but so important that they are aware of the rest defense. And Sekhukhune do get the opportunity. Are they positioned correctly? And it's a new look midfield there. Kulise and Mabue operating next to each other, as opposed to that single pivot that has been played mostly by Andile Jolly.
Seeing a new role for Mabue these days. But, he has shown himself adept at playing from those deep positions. And Kekana. And in that first meeting between these two sides, which Sundowns ran out 2-0 winners by, Sekhukhune held out for long periods, employing similar tactics. I mean, where they would basically were content to let Sundowns have the ball. Sundowns dominated, but you always got the sense that as soon as Sundowns make the breakthrough, it wouldn't be long before they get the second, and so it did play out. And the sides met in Pretoria. The game that was played at the Touch Stadium. Sundowns, who have been a bit nomadic this season, played some Champions League games, of course, as we know, at the FNB Stadium. And played one out in Rustenburg as well, at Royal Bafokeng. Nice turn in the box, and a chance here from a tight angle. Yeah, I think a bit of regret. I think he knows he should have done a lot better there. Mudiba.
We can't blame him there. On the score sheet last time out against Royal. I tell you what, Aubrey Mudiba, whenever been given an opportunity, he's certainly very effective there. Great awareness, great turn. Nothing wrong with trying to take a shot there. Skied it a little bit there, but just look at the awareness. Nice turn there.
The one Premiership goal for him in his time with Sundowns. Still looking for his first of the season. There's only his 7th start though. So has limited opportunities. And there's one thing about the Sundowns side as well is that although Peter Shalulile has been the mainstay in terms of goal scoring, they have spread the goals around as well. 23 different scorers. Of course, we know Shalulile stands on 21 goals for the campaign and counting. He's chasing down that record of Collins Besuma. Good, now here he is, Shalulile, sneaking in behind the defenders. Good work from Sekhukhune. Yusuf marked the mistake, and Gaston Cerillo! That's a let off. Those kind of mistakes can be fatal. They will be punished, and Sekhukhune will need to be more precise than that. This is good work from Cerillo to lay it on for Shalulile.
And there was a brilliant first time pass there from Serena rather. It's that same man there, picks it up, shot, but you said it earlier, Titi, you could just see the body language of Sereno that yes, it was a stuttering start, agonizingly close. They're just shaving the upright. Sereno almost on that score sheet. And as I was saying, Titi, let's see that change of attitude. Yes, there was some speculations that he might be leaving, stop starting, picking up some niggles on the way, but it looks like Sereno's up for the fight and up for that starting berth.
Back refocused, back to his almost back to his brilliant best. Gaston Sereno will savor another Premiership. The title will the Uruguay throw in for Sekhukhune on the far side, or should I say for Mamelodi Sundowns. It's a foul by Ohizu. Two other matches, of course, underway in the DStv Premiership this afternoon. It's no goals in all of those games thus far. 0-0 between Swallows and Amazulu. 0-0 between SuperSport United and Stellenbosch FC. Of course, we await the first goal here. Steve Compella. 2 seasons now with the Sundowns and 2 gold medals in DStv Premiership. I think you made a wise choice.
100% there, but just see stern faces on the bench. Wouldn't say they've wrapped up the championship.
The looks on their faces have not changed all season long. He could score a spectacular goal. He would just be unmoved on the bench, looking as if he's watching a down episode of soap on TV. Very little moves him. I'm sure deep inside he's doing somersaults, but
boiling, it's bubbling.
He's not about to let it the emotions show to the camera is Mangoba Mleti.
I was a little bit light-hearted at he was chatting to Lindiwe with the pre-match interviews. He didn't know he was live, and there were smiles and all relaxed. Here he paints a different picture.
There he is. Celebrated his 51st birthday last week. Happy birthday, coach. 51 years young. He's now closer to 100 than he is to naught. So, yeah, he's entered the threshold.
I wouldn't know nothing about that threshold yet.
Oh, it beckons for some of us. It's been a torrid run, as I said, for Sekhukhune. Position play. The call goes against them there. As I said, last time out, they held out not for long, and if things were looking good, they hung out until the 20th minute and then let themselves down as Neo Mahema broke the deadlock. And then soon after the restart, Tembazwani made it 2-0. And from the penalty spot, it's a game where Dennis Onyango was sent off. In fact, in the second half, Sekhukhune came back hard at them. And I think would have been a little, considered themselves unlucky not to have come away with something. But I think by the time Sundowns got to 2-0, they do what Sundowns do, and let's just control the game. And they manage it, and they saw the result. Zwane now looking to tee it up there for Mavuye. This is Kulisa wide to Mahema. It's been one of the finds of the season for Mamelodi Sundowns. I said, scouting team here. Suddenly says, who took a deflection which could have actually taken it past the keeper. Instead, it steered it wide of that upright. And nearly creating another opening.
Just so much movement in and around that box here, but you can see exactly what Sereno done. Opened his body as if to say, I'm going for the top right-hand corner. Just try and disguise that. As he looked to squeeze it in. Bottom there. Bunch of men. Sereno once again coming close.
Sereno's scored twice in his 7 or rather 11 appearances, only his 5th start this evening. As you see, attempts on goal. That one, but that's another thing about that statistic of attempts on goal, because that effort from Yusuf Mart is the solitary effort for Sekhukhune. Doesn't even tell you just how far it was from the target, though.
So you don't shoot, you don't score.
Yeah, absolutely. The long one from the skipper. He's got such great technique. He doesn't wind himself up, but look at the amount of distance he got on that throw. And the Gama actually looking at one of his number of players, of course, in the Sekhukhune side who played under him at Highlands Park, and also, of course, on the other side, we've got Peter Shalulile, who at one time on the Gama spoke unflinchingly and unequivocally to declare that Peter Shalulile is the best striker in the PSL by far. We thought it was a little bit of hubris at the time, some of us, but he has been proven correct time and over and over again.
Yeah, I got to put my hand up there, myself included. Never thought Shalila would do what he is doing at Mamelodi Sundowns. With credit to Owen Dagama there for spotting it and nurturing the talent that he unearthed.
Mavuye looking to switch play here. Modau.
No, Titi, we speak about the talent the Sundown side. But there's a few breakthrough players. I'm speaking about the likes of Mudau, likes of Leo Mahema. Speak about Mudiba, that's not a starter, but when comes on, certainly comes to the party and produces the goods.
We know all about Mudiba's quality. It just shows you, though, when a player like Mudiba struggles to get into the Sundown side or into the starting lineup, just the kind of quality there is in that side. I mean, he's competing with Lyle Lekay, who has been a pillar. He's been rock solid for the last few seasons now for Sundowns on that left back channel.
Yeah.
Just taking over from Langerman.
Yeah, it's a player that's improved his goal scoring as well. But talk about stats. Lekay has the leading assists for Sundowns with 6. That just shows you that you mentioned 23 scorers for them. Assists coming from all over the park here, and it just shows you the quality of the champions.
Mazwani, Khulise. There's one thing that one does worry about is the route into the first team for Sundowns development players, given the amount of players that they sign from other clubs on an annual basis. And you do wonder whether that is now not narrowing that path to the first team instead of Fredericks for the juniors.
That's most definitely a worrying factor there. If you just look at like Mahala, we assume that he would burst onto the scene and remain consistent. Hasn't happened.
Look at a player like Police has been limited in his appearances. I mean, if we can still at 26 consider him one of our players, but certainly there's a number of them. Promising Kuma, those kind of players, that were starting to make their way into the into the first team under Peter Msimane, but that path has been steadily closed. With the signing, the acquisition of superior quality. I mean, when Sundowns can go and sign a player of Bradley Ralani's age, and no doubt about the man's quality as he has proven in his short time with Sundowns. But so if there's one thing that you do wonder what that means for the band of youngsters coming through the very strong Sundowns Academy.
Yeah, that's for sure, TT. I guess that's why they are so successful. Able to beef up where needed, whenever needed.
Sekhukhune United, I think whatever happens, I think of course they will want to force their way into that top 8. But whatever happens, it's been a great season for them. I mean, for obviously newly promoted side, as this one sails over everyone's heads, for them priority would have been survival, and they've been, I think, done that comfortably. And as I said, they did the major work in the first half of the season.
And that's the beauty of football there, TT. They say you're only as good as your last game. And if you look at teams, you're only as good as your last season. And for Sekhukhune, as much as they've done the job now, the second season is the major season. It's the test. You look at the likes of Swallows FC now. Second season syndrome doesn't kick in.
TS Galaxy, from the break, had scored a big win last night against the Pirates. I mean, it was a massive 3 points in more ways than one for the team from Wandebele. But Sekhukhune on 31 points now. That is certainly assures them safety. 30 points is usually the magic mark. Now it's about chasing down that top 8 spot. And the fact that they're on 31 points, then to Frederickson in 10th spot, and they can still work their way into the top 8. 40 points normally assures you a top 8 spot.
Yeah, and just look at the side that they'll be chasing the Super Sport. They're currently underway.
Maximum points here will take them. Will leave Sekhukhune where they are, because on 31 points they'll only get up to 34. Just behind Lamontville Golden Arrow. Super Sport, as you say, occupying that 8th spot. It would be a first in DStv Premiership history if Super Sport were to fail to finish in the top 8. Never happened before. But back here at Emirates Park, there's an opportunity for Sekhukhune from a set piece. Kabwe and the skipper Yusuf Man standing over this one. It is a long way out. It's going to take something special to beat Ryan Peterson. Kabwe looks like he's winding himself up to have a goal from range. Or is he a decoy? It's Mark that goes. Nothing ready behind it. Oh, spilled it. Ryan Peterson has managed to eventually get up and get to that second one.
Yeah, it looked like he made a meal of it, but as we could see, there was a bit of a deflection that certainly wrong-footed him there. It did take forever to get up there. He eventually done the job there.
Oh, he's not able to get there quick enough, and good work from Mudau as well to cover his keeper.
It reminds me of a chirp from an old coach. I'm sure you know Eddie Lewis.
Yes, the late great
says with the one goalkeeper said, "You went down in installments, mate."
Brilliant. I suppose you're not going to tell us which goalkeeper that was.
Let's save that for. Let's just leave it there.
Beautiful stuff there again from Zwane. Mudiba! Oh! Whoa! Even he's impressed. Even he's impressed. On his feet because Aubrey Mudiba just lit up a firecracker. Oh, what a way to open his account for the season. That is an absolute belter. A worldie, they call it. Oh.
Yeah, it's back-to-back goals for Aubrey Mudiba. Comes from the right, Mudau in possession. Quick change of play here from Sundowns. Mudiba seen he had space in front of him. First touch to set it up. And Cracker gave Toaster Mbata no chance of saving that one. And what's left to say is, Aubrey Mudiba, lovely work.
Fantastic stuff. As I said, his first, as you say, back-to-back goals now. There is one in the cup, and now his first in the Premiership. My word, it was worth the wait. No chance for Sabata. As I said, even he's impressed. And it takes a lot to make that man get off his feet and smile like that. Beauty, absolute cracker. Worthy of any celebration. And he gets the party started right for the champions here. And the deadlock has been broken. It took 20 minutes last time out. It's taken 28 this time. I think Kevin Sabata will just put his hand up and say, too good. Too good. That matches Mudiba's haul of goals last season. So he's got his one for the campaign. Last season also managed just the one. My goodness, what a strike.
He's back in the thick of things there. Ohizo just coming through. Bit of the elbow catching Mudiba in the face.
I think it has gone the way of Aubrey Mudiba. And a caution to Sekhukhune Ohizo.
I'm not too sure that is a little bit harsh, because when you're jumping, you need your hands to propel a bit of height, and it looked like he really gave him the elbow there, Ohizo.
Without giving chase there, it's a bit too much on that one. Wow, I think that's a goal worth savoring. In fact, just look at the skill from Themba Zwane. More Mangete magic. And then sits up.
I tell you what, TT, what he done well is, they say when you want to shoot, you have to be balanced. So he had that extra touch just to give him the proper balance. The non-kicking foot was next to the ball, and a great technique there from Aubrey Mudiba.
Gets his knee over it, puts the laces through it. So much power, and of course the ball does a lot through the air as well when you strike it right like that, making it difficult for the keeper as it swerves away from him. As the keeper gets down to collect this one. Police is down there. what happens here. Oh my goodness.
Nasty,
Motsipe.
nasty and naughty.
Naughty, very naughty. Starts up nowhere near the ball. I don't know. He got away with that. I don't even think the assistant, anyone saw that. That could easily have been a red card offense.
I tell you what, DT, this is when you hope that VAR is around.
Wow. That was nasty. That he can consider himself very lucky, Motsipe, that wasn't caught by the assistant, as that could, as I said, easily have been deemed worthy of a red card.
Just look at that possession stats there, 72% to Sundowns. And, you just feel that with the goal down now, Sekhukhune is going to have to commit, be a bit more attack-minded.